And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control. We will stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? Hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording now live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube so you can come by later and do a call letter search for KC9VKV. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're now featuring about 1,060 QSO-VLOG air checks. Also this afternoon, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring Rochester, New York, Milford, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Georgia, and Arlington, Virginia, trying to get a better copy on our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of this selector is a cophase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. We do use a lot of rotary selectors in our shack, mainly because there's nothing faster than a rotary switch for comparing multiple signals. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an Internet SDR to the FT990, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. Well, those are our working conditions. How about yours? This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And now, let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, I do. You're about 9 to 10 over direct. And for the first time today, the sun is breaking through after yesterday and this morning's snow, which dumped 18 inches of snow on us. 18, Jim, go ahead.
Oh, that's unbelievable. But that's unbelievable for me, not for you guys. You get that almost every day, don't you?
Not quite. In March, we only had about 14 inches. And here we had 18 yesterday and today. By the way, talking about band conditions, I did work Ian this morning down in Australia, and I'm still holding the microphone up to the cassette speaker here, but my friend up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I think he's fixed pretty well, got things ready. I may be able to be without this microphone, but give me a few seconds of this morning. A very good day, and I think it's up to you, Charlie North. And okay, on the snow, that's amazing. So I hope you don't get snowed in there, Charlie. I hope they come out and keep things clear. K1GZL and Company, 6 kilos, 3 Mike Oscar. Okay, and it was snowing in good shape when I talked to Jim. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, I think that one is the best one yet. That was nice and clear. And so you guys had really good propagation this morning, Roger.
Really good propagation this morning, Roger.
Yeah, but the thing is, the speaker on the cassette is not very big. It's not the best quality, but I'm surprised my microphone worked okay. I am using the wide 3.6 bandwidth on the 7300, and I'm trying to get the best audio out of here as possible. So right now we have brilliant sunshine. However, I think we have more snow showers between now and tomorrow midday before it completely winds up. But the whole storm, it was only about 2 degrees. Well, it started above freezing yesterday. It was about 33, and it was snowing hard down on the valley floors. It was mixed with rain 1,000 feet down, but up here it was snow. And then it dropped down to just at freezing. Then was sticking better. And midnight last night, we had 8 inches of snow. I was out there shoveling at midnight, and then since then it snowed, and we finally got plowed out at 7:15 this morning. And the town plows you out, and it took them 20 minutes to plow out this heavy, wet snow. So that was an experience. But yet at the same time, the propagation on 40 was very good this morning. Ian was peaking 30 over 9 from down there in Melbourne in southeast Australia. So 40 meters seems to be the fan for the South Pacific, whereas 20 meters, it's a little higher in frequency than the maximum usable frequency. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, now you did mention 3.6 bandpass. I was under the impression that the 7300 highest bandpass was 100 to 2900. Roger?
100 to 2900, Roger.
No, at least on my indication here, you can widen it out to 3.6, at least on mine. I'm not the greatest expert on the electronics. I'm more interested in antennas, but I use the widest bandwidth I can to get the best fidelity. I like, listening to somebody that sounds like they do in person, and your signal is always very, very clear and natural. In fact, here you are.
Now, 3.6 bandpass. I was under the impression that the 7300 highest bandpass was 100 to 2900, Roger.
Okay, I hope you copied that. Maybe by next week I'll be back where I won't have to hold this microphone up. KC9. So, in other words, it's like you're sitting in the shack. You're transmitting right through my microphone to get to you. Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Well, I'm sure Jim will be able to fix you up there. He is a wizard at all kinds of things. He has the experience to tackle almost any problem. Roger?
Tackle almost any problem, Roger.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jim is the key. He's the one that made it possible to be able to do this, because when he got his 7300 a year before I did, he couldn't understand why the ICOM people did not allow fix it so that you could play it over the air. So he had a friend that had an old cassette in his closet for 20 years, and he talked him out of it, and he fixed it up. So now it works very, very well. Jim, and Jim, of course, has been a teacher of electronics in Penn State University for 28 years, and I think he's going to retire this summer. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Well, gosh, he deserves to be able to do what he wants. So if it's time to retire, I hope he takes advantage of that, and then he can do exactly what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Roger.
Roger.
Oh yeah, but he'll probably do a lot of consulting and do some consulting work. And you never met a nicer person than Jim Brakel. Heck of a nice fellow, and he's been up here numerous times. And when I used to live just south of here in Berlin, New Hampshire, he used to visit me there. In fact, he and somebody else operated sweepstakes from where I used to live, just south of here in Berlin, New Hampshire, and we won New Hampshire and still hold the New Hampshire record on sweepstakes. I'm not a contest person myself, but we had it set up down there, and in those days, way back when, 15 meters was hot. Oh boy, was it hot. 80% of all the contact tests in the sweepstakes contest that November were done on 15 meters. Wow, boy, well, how the bands change when the sunspot cycle drops. Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Well, I appreciate your keeping up with Mother Nature's propagation on 40. Kind of lets me know what to expect for the day, Roger.
Roger. Well, look, I know there's probably many people would like to get reports there. So, by the way, Monday I think we're going to have a fair amount of rain. So that's going to knock down a lot of the snow. Then later next week it's going to get colder again. And God knows we may be having more snow by late next week. And here it is, the 10th of April 2020, and time flies. But in October, we've had no snow at all in October, and now we have had 216 inches of snow for the season so far. Normal is 195 now over a 22-year period. 195 inches a year on the average, Jim. Look, I'll sign with you there, and I'll try to be on next week. And I hope you don't have any severe weather down there in far southern Indiana. KC9VKV, K1GZ. Always a pleasure, Jim.
Roger, Charlie. Likewise, sir. Thank you very much. And you stay warm and stay sheltered. Don't want to take any chances on the virus going around there. So you're probably in about the safest place one could possibly be on this earth, and I'm thankful that you are. Threes to you, Charlie, and we'll catch you later, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor in the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. My name is Jim, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page you'll be looking for one QSO-VLOG entitled My Group Aircheck 4/10/20, today's date. My Group Aircheck 4/10/20. This is KC9VKV listening.
KC9VKV listening.
I do hear a weak station back in there. Try one more time, please, slowly, phonetically. This is KC9VKV. I got Zulu Romeo. Could you fill in the front and the back of that?
Romeo, Yankee, Mobile, over.
Okay, close enough. What's the name there?
Zach, Zulu, Alpha, Charlie, Hotel, over.
All righty, Zach, and what's your location, sir?
I'm mobile right now near the town of Grayling, Michigan, over.
Mobile's coming out of Michigan. Is that a Roger? All right. Tell me what radio you're running there, Zach.
Kenwood TS50 into a ham stick that's mag-mounted onto the roof of the truck, over.
All right, Zach, I've got you better now. I'm using the Milford PA SDR. Got a good copy on you now. Repeat that radio one more time.
Repeat that radio one more time.
It's a Kenwood TS50. It's just sitting on the dashboard right now while driving here with a ham stick on a mag mount, over.
Oh, Roger. Well, let's see. You're giving Milford PA 10 over their local noise level, Roger.
Their local noise level, Roger.
Okay, Roger. Well, your signal's doing really good as well. You're 5.9 here, just fantastic right now. I'm driving down I-75 right now, over.
Roger, I'm riding down I-75. One more time with your call sign. I've got 3/4 of it, but give me the whole thing slowly, phonetically one more time.
Slowly, phonetically one more time.
No problem. Kilo 8, Zulu, Romeo, Yankee. Kilo 8, Zulu, Romeo, Yankee, over.
Okay, now you should downward inflect on that last that last letter, because it sounds like there should be more. So I'll give you a line read: Zulu, Roger, Yankee. You know, you kind of go down so one doesn't expect anything to follow, Roger.
Can expect anything to follow, Roger.
I'm sorry, there was a lot of QRM all of a sudden that came up on the frequency. Can you please repeat, over?
Not important. I was just saying that the last letter you were kind of leaving your inflection pattern up as if there were more to come, and that's what was throwing me off there, as opposed to, you know, ending it with Zulu, Roger, Yankee, a downward inflection pattern at the end of the call sign.
Inflection pattern at the end of the call sign.
Okay, Roger, I see what you mean. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. I'm a relatively new ham, about 2 years into the hobby, over.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, you got a smoking mobile for sure coming out of Michigan.
Mobile for sure coming out of Michigan.
Well, thank you very much. I just kind of strapped this together. I had to go up and get my brother. He's moving down with us due to the whole COVID-19 situation. He got laid off, so he's going to be moving in with me. So I went up to move him, and to keep me satisfied for the 6-hour drive, I just decided to toss his radio in with the ham stick, over.
Oh, Roger. Well, I think you probably stay pretty well entertained because that radio is definitely getting out, Roger.
Getting out, Roger.
Yes, I've made a good deal of contacts. Been satisfied, and keep me entertained. Better than just listening to the FM radio, over.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, the dynamic range is right there at 3 dB, right where you would want it to be. So your percent of peak modulation is running between 80 and 85%. The equalization is in good shape. Plenty of intelligibility, Roger.
Roger.
Okay, Roger. Well, I appreciate it. Could you give me your call sign again once more, over?
Roger. The call here is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. KC9VKV, this is Jim, the QSO-VLOG network, and we're located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. Roger?
From Louisville, Kentucky. Roger.
Okay, Roger. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate the contact here. I believe I heard you say that this was recorded and going to be on YouTube, QSO?
That's a Roger. It would probably take us a couple of days to get it posted, but if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. Right now we have about 1,060 some odd recorded QSOs. You'll be looking for one in particular, and it will be called My Group Aircheck 41020, today's date. My Group Aircheck 41020, Roger.
Check 41020, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, thank you very much. Interested to hear how it sounds. Appreciate the contact here. I'll let you get some more down the log here. 73.
Roger, Roger, Zach, 3's that way, sir. Have a pleasant trip and a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend coming up. This is KC9VKV in the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, we are recording now live till 5. Give me a shout.
Now live till 5. Give me a shout. K4LJE.
LJE. Give me the whole thing there, please.
Give me the whole thing there, please.
Juliet.
Yeah, KC9VKV, K4 Lima, Japan Echo, North Carolina. The handle is Jim.
I got you, Jim, right there. Are you in Eden right now?
I'm right there. Are you in Eden right now? Yeah, I'm in Eden.
Roger, are you on your base?
Roger, are you on your base? Yes, sir, I am.
Well, there you go. You're about, let's see, you're tearing Milford, PA up. Let me come back to my local antenna. Talk to me for a minute.
Talk to me for a minute. Okay. The other Jim in Eden, North Carolina. Beautiful day down here, 56 degrees. The wind's blowing a little bit, but a beautiful sunshiny day. Over.
Roger, I'm copying you about 12 dB above my local noise level, so you're doing a great job, and I am on my local antenna.
Okay, really, thank you very much. Look, I only had a question, and I'll be gone, I promise. You know, the other day you was experimenting with your mag loops. Did you get satisfaction on that endeavor there? Over?
Well, I think so. But, you know, it's a kind of a thing where, as far as I'm concerned, I want to see a definite increase as I pan through the target. And I know that magnetic loop is giving me 16 dB of differential gain between the on-target direction and its null. I get 16 dB fluctuation of signal between when I'm on target and then when I pan to the null. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Okay. So you were getting that, or you still need to, you are going for, still trying to get that, over?
Well, gosh, I'm right now copying you on it, but I probably could use a little assistance if you wanted to give me about 20 seconds on something.
Yeah, I'll give you 20 seconds on something there. Here is something for 20 seconds. Once upon a midnight dreary, as I pondered, weak and weary, over a quaint and curious volume of forgotten. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping upon my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. KC9VKV, K4LJE.
Roger, Roger. Now, I went through the null, came out the other side, and I have a max signal at 163 angle. Roger, Roger.
Okay, that's probably from where you are. That's probably pretty cool right there.
I mean, that could be, you know, that could be off the back side. The front and the back of the loop is almost identical. So there is, you know, it is bidirectional, as most loops are.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you definitely see a null, and you know, you could. It's got obviously it's got a preamp in it, doesn't it?
No, I'm not running a preamp because of power considerations, the proximity to the dipole antenna and stray RF. I'm sure that I would probably, you know, be in trouble there. I am running a mute relay, so when I transmit, the mute does break the mag loop antenna in. Roger?
Okay, very good. Yeah, I understand. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I run a separate receiver sometime, and I have a mute relay for my Drake receiver when I run that thing. Okay, very good. I was just curious. I just thought I would ask. Anytime you hear us in here, just come on in here. We'll be glad to help you. Anytime there, dude. And 73 to you, and enjoy this afternoon. Happy Easter to you, my friend. K4LJE.
Roger, Jim, and likewise, anytime you hear us in there, just give us a shout. You'll be probably 20 over or so. You really do well with your base station and your mobile. Both of them do real well. So threes to you, Jim, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And shelter in place as much as possible. Hopefully we will all be through this thing, and we will have survived intact, and hopefully next year it will not come back and be like a seasonal thing. Hopefully this is the main thing. So threes to you, Jim. KC9VKV, this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 2, Bravo, Uniform, Echo.
November 2, Bravo, and give me the rest.
Echo, Uniform, Echo, Nancy 2, Boston, United, Easy.
Roger, and what's the name there, please?
Yes, the name's Ron, Romeo Oscar November. I'm in the state of New Jersey. Name of the town's Gibbstown, New Jersey. And I have spoken to you before, Jim. Today I'm running a Yaesu FT991A, running 100 watts to my inverted V antenna. Over.
Oh, roger that. EQ sounds good. Now, are you running your compressor at about a 3?
Yes, 30% on the compressor and 20% on the mic gain. And I have the mic equalization on right now and the processor. Over.
Roger. Now, look at your ALC. That's where you want to set your mic gain. The actual gain of the mic, it doesn't make any difference as far as the number. It's what that mic gain does to your ALC, and you want your ALC to run mid-scale to 2/3.
Hey, Roger, Jim. Right now, I'm looking at the ALC, and that's what it's doing. It's maybe a little bit better than 2/3. And I'm looking at my mic gain. That's at 18. So if I drop, let me see. I drop that down. I'm dropping it down, and it don't seem to be affecting it too much. I'm down to about 10% on the mic gain. Do you see the difference in the audio?
Yeah, I would take that back to about 16 or so, 17, somewhere in there. You were at about 3 dB dynamic range at that reading, Roger.
Oh, okay, Jim. Yeah, I took it back up to 20%. So, and like I said, I'm hitting the ALC. Oh, probably a little bit better than 2/3 on peak. But, it's kind of tough to get it exactly at 2/3. But anyway, usually I run the ICOM 7300. But this afternoon I figured I'd give this Yaesu a try so I could hear my audio off of the Yaesu. And like I said, I have the mic equalization on. And I'm going to turn it back to you. And then when I come...
Roger, I was just moving around through the SDRs, and so far I have the best copy on my local receiver, and you are a good 8 to 10 dB over my local noise level, Roger.
Okay, Jim, very good. I took the EQ off, so I'm still running the processor and 100 watts. And like I said, I took the EQ out of the equalization here. Is off. So I wonder if you see any difference now. Hear a difference now.
You were really bassy without the EQ. EQ back in now?
Okay, I put the EQ back in line. And so I'm running the EQ right now. And like I said, I'm using my inverted V antenna. And that's at 35 feet. And just 100 watts out of rig, no amplifier, over.
Roger, Roger. We'll keep that EQ in because you need that EQ for intelligibility. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search, KC9VKV, that will take you to a QSO-VLOG page. And you'll be looking for my group Aircheck 41020. My group Aircheck 41020, and you will hear the difference, Roger.
Oh, okay, Jim, very good. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to listening to that on the YouTube. And that's been my curiosity with this rig here. I generally use this rig just for UHF, VHF. So I figured, hey, what the heck, this afternoon, I'll give it a try here on HF and hear how it sounds. Cold out here today. The high was about 50, like 47 right now with the wind blowing. Cold wind, very chilly. Actually had a snow squall this morning, the first one all year. So Jim, 73, thank you for the check. You take care, and I'll talk to you later on. KC9VKV, N2BUE.
Roger, Roger. Ron, and I'm copying you there again, 10 dB over my local noise level using my north-south 10-foot magnetic loop antenna, so you really sound good. So you're like your Aircheck when you check it from our QSO-VLOG page. Threes to you, sir. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend. This is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 8, Juliet, Foxtrot, Juliet.
Juliet, Foxtrot, Juliet, give me the whole thing one more time.
Foxtrot, Juliet, give me the whole thing one more time.
November 8.
I got November 8. Need the give me the whole call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Give me the whole call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
November 8, Juliet, Foxtrot, Juliet.
November 8, Juliet, Foxtrot, Juliet. Roger.
November 8, Juliet, Foxtrot, Juliet. Roger.
Roger, roger, roger.
All right. What's the name there, and where are you located, sir?
The name there, and where are you located, sir?
Okay, the band is really messing our people up here. You really dropped out. Things are really switching around. We're in Michigan. We're in Michigan, about 30 miles north of Detroit. Roger?
Roger, 30 miles south of Detroit. Can you give me your name, please, sir?
Detroit, can you give me your name, please, sir?
The direction is north. North of Detroit, the name is John.
Roger, John. You know, I'm getting about as specific as Michigan. my location is, when I write it down, I just use a broad state as far as the reference to your location. It's a lot quicker than that. Your signal is about 5 or 6 dB above my local noise level. Roger.
6 dB above my local noise level. Roger.
We are north. Direction is north. November Oscar Romeo Tango Hotel. North of Detroit. Roger?
Roger. Yes, sir. I got it down. North of Michigan. North of Detroit. Roger, Roger.
Michigan, north of Detroit. Roger, Roger.
Do you want a grid square?
Sir, I barely got a copy on you. Repeat the last.
Really got a copy on you. Repeat the last.
The grid is Echo November 8-2 on the grid square.
Sir, I'm sorry, you have slipped into my noise level, so maybe we'll try it later. Right now, you are right in my noise, and I can't really make out what you're saying. So let me say 3s for now, and we'll try it later. Roger, Roger.
And we'll try it later. Roger, Roger.
Okay, Roger, Roger, Roger.
Yeah, you did come up a little bit there at the last. Can you tell me what radio you're running, sir?
Can you tell me what radio you're running, sir?
It's a Yaesu FTDX 1200. Yaesu FTDX 1200.
Roger, Roger, John. Yaesu FTDX 1200. Roger, Roger.
FTDX 1200. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger, connected to a ground-mounted, gap-tightened, 13 feet above ground at the base. 13 feet above ground at the base.
Roger, John. What you need is, do you know how to get to your equalization?
Do you know how to get to your equalization?
You asked me if I had something. I did not understand what.
Roger, do you know how to get to the radio's equalization, the EQ? Do you know how to get there?
The EQ. Do you know how to get there?
Well, I've done a little bit of work with the ALC. I guess there's something else as well. Go ahead.
Right, I'm not talking about the ALC, I'm talking about the EQ. Take a note. If you don't know how to get to your EQ, take a note. When you get there, you want to increase your top-end EQ by 3 clicks. You're very muddy, hard to understand. So I would suggest when you get to your equalization, increase the top-end EQ by 3 clicks. Roger?
Top-end EQ by 3 clicks. Roger.
Okay, Jim. Roger, Roger. 3 clicks on the EQ. 3 clicks on the EQ. Roger, Roger.
Roger, on the top-end EQ. 3 clicks boost on the top-end EQ. Roger?
Clicks boost on the top-end EQ. Roger.
Roger, Roger, Roger.
All right, John, 3s for now, sir. And gosh, if you get a chance, you get that EQ cranked in, give me another shout, and we'll compare notes. In the meantime, if you go to YouTube, we'll be uploading this Aircheck in the next couple of days. So you'll be looking for, a call letter search KC9VKV. That will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and then you'll be looking for a QSO entitled My Group Aircheck 41020. Today's date. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger?
41020. Roger?
This is NAJFK. Roger, Roger. Greatly appreciated, Jim.
Roger, Roger, John. 3 set ways, sir, and have a good afternoon, a great weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Got a radio you want to check out? Give me a shout. Hold that.
Okay, didn't copy anybody. I copied a bunch of people, but nobody specifically, and I read around my internet SDR, so didn't find anything. So I'm going to back on my local antenna, and the loudest one, give me a shout again.
Whiskey 3 Alpha Papa Alpha.
Whiskey 3 Alpha Papa Alpha. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, it's a Roger, Jim.
Alrighty, and tell me about your antenna for about 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, we talked back in November when I got this 5000. I just got a different mic I wanted here outside. My antenna is, I call it my clothesline. It's a 66-foot end-fed wire there, about 20-some feet off the ground, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Okay, I've looked at your audio, and gosh, we need to do some things if you would like to fatten your audio up some, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, I've been talking on a stock mic. He told me it sounded great when I got it. I just find this mic here came with my Yaesu 1200. It was free. It was like a package deal. So I just hooked it up. Just curious how it sounds, brother.
Yeah, Roger. Well, the first thing, do you have your compressor engaged at a 3?
No. It's just my mic settings on 32. The mic gain, and power's about 150 watts, over.
Okay, listen to me now. If you want to fatten your radio, put your compressor in, engage your compressor, and put it on a 3. Roger?
All right, it's on a 3 there, over.
Alrighty. Now, go to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC through your mic gain to where the ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3.
All right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there. Oh, okay, it's there now, over.
All right. Now go to your EQ and punch in 3 clicks top-end boost on your EQ. Roger?
Wait a minute, you lost me. Go to my EQ. Where's that at?
EQ is in your radio, equalization.
I'm going to have to get the book out. You wouldn't happen to know where... hold on a minute.
What radio are you running?
It's a Yaesu 5000, third generation.
All right, just let me give you a note there, and then you can do it later when you find EQ. Go to EQ and adjust the top-end boost by 3 clicks. You want to take your top-end EQ plus 3 from where it is. Roger?
Okay, roger that. Yeah, I'll have to get the book out. I have... Hold on a minute.
Yeah, you can do that later, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, I just went in the menu and changed the setting here. Makes it sound a little bassier, I think. Did that do anything, over?
Well, I'm not sure. What you want to do is try to run your radio in the widest bandpass possible, like 100 to 2900. That would be the ideal. If you have an adjustment to make on your bandpass, you want to be 100 to 2900 and operate your radio in that mode. Roger?
Okay, I just did that now. It's 100, 2900. That's the setting, over.
Okay, so you're bassier now because you are passing that lower frequency. So now when you go to EQ, do 2 clicks off the bottom, roll 2 clicks off the bottom, and increase 3 clicks on the top. And take notes of that. 3 clicks boost on the top, 2 clicks roll on the bottom, and you want to run that 100 to 2900 all the time. Roger?
Oh, okay, roger that. All right, I'll have to look in the book at the setting in the menu where to find that EQ setting. Like I said, I just been mainly talking on a radio, stock mic, and never really messed with much of the settings, internal stuff. Over.
Roger. Yeah, your mic is very bassy, so I would get to that EQ sooner than later. And like I say, roll 2 off the bottom. Hopefully you have a 3-band or 2-band EQ. Do you know?
No, I don't. I'd have to look. It's a setting in a menu. I'd have to. There's a million things. I don't want to be scanning and holding you up on the air here. If I can find that real quick after I'm done talking, I'll get back to you. You'll be on the air for another hour or so, over.
Roger that. Yeah. So when you get to that EQ, plus 3 on the top boost and minus 2 roll on the bottom, and that should put you in good shape. After you do that, then you need to go back to your ALC and double check that your ALC meter is still running mid-scale to 2/3, because we will have made some substantial equalization changes, and when you do that, you always need to go back and double check your ALC after you perform, like when you change your mic or something like that, or when you modify your equalization quite a bit. Just to go back and make sure that ALC is still running mid-scale to 2/3, and just adjust it with your mic gain. Roger?
Yeah, roger that. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, that's where it's at now. It's sort of peaking just about 2/3 there when I'm talking. And, yeah, okay. Yeah, I got that set. But, yeah, once I make some other adjustments, that might change it. Over.
Yeah, when you cut 2 dB off the bottom end, you will be probably light on your ALC, so you need to bring that gain up probably. But the end game is that you just want that ALC meter running mid-scale to 2/3, and so don't worry about anything else after you do the EQ. Just get your mic gain and make that ALC meter read mid-scale to 2/3.
Roger that. Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, I'm on sideband. It says, okay, low cut frequency, high cut frequency. That's where you want me to go in and mess around with that stuff there, over?
No, equalization. You should have a menu that calls for the equalization or the EQ. Roger?
Oh, roger that. Okay, yeah, I just flipped it open, and that's what I saw first in the back of the book here. All right, I'll look for it, and I'll get back to you. Okay, Jim, thanks.
Roger, what was the name there?
Tony, Tango Oscar November Yankee, Roger.
Roger, Tony, and what's your location?
We're up here 12 miles south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Roger, PA, and the radio that you're running, please?
DX5000, third generation, over.
Got DX5000. Was there something in front of the DX?
Yeah, FTDX5000, Roger.
Roger, FTDX. Gotcha. All right, sir. This is KC9VKV. We'll say 3 is for now. Catch you later. Lots of luck on your EQ. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Okay, I had 4 stations coming back. I need the loudest one to try it again.
K4, Bravo,
K4, Bravo, Golf. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, and a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. The name here is Bob. We're located near Savannah, in Sylvania, Georgia, running some ancient gear here by most people's standards. It's an Omni 6 Option 3, driving a little Hercules 2 into a tuned dipole outside about 15 meters high, and you have a good signal here, sir. Again, the name is Bob. Thank you very much. Over.
Roger, Bob. Now, you might be just a little warm going into your ALC. I would bring up my ALC meter and with a mic gain in hand and adjust my ALC for running mid-scale to 2/3 by manipulation of the mic gain. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Let me back off on it just a little bit. Does that look some better there, or sound better, etc., and so forth? Over.
Yes, sir. It sounds a bunch better. It sounded like you were up against the wall trying to get to Cuba on a bad day.
I'll have to remember to keep my tobacco out of my mouth, right?
Roger, you got it going on now. It looks to be about a 3 dB dynamic range, and that is 80 to 85% average peak modulation. Roger.
Wonderful. Well, I certainly appreciate that very much, sir. You got a nice signal in here, K4BG.
Roger, Bob, and your EQ sounds a lot better since it's not pushed quite as hard.
Great.
Well, I'm just going to put some glue on these knobs.
Roger, Gorilla Tape, Roger.
There you go. Thanks so much for your service, sir.
Yes, sir, Bob, and if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, we currently have about 1,060 recorded QSO-VLOGs, but you'll be looking for one in specific, and it will be called My Group Aircheck 41020. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger?
That for November 20.
Yeah, it's today's date, 4/10/20, Roger.
Oh, 4/10/20. Thank you very much. I've written this down. I appreciate it.
Roger, and what type of antenna did you say you were running?
This is about 135-foot dipole up about, average of 50 feet in the air, fed with open line through a 238 coupler.
Roger, now do you use that antenna on 80 as well?
Yes, I do.
Roger, and what kind of SWR differences do you have between when you run it on 80 and when you run it on 40?
Well, now, whoa. I'm feeding this thing with tune feeders through a antenna coupler, so I don't allow any SWR at all over.
Roger, and you do that through antenna tuning or through the magic of patience?
No. I use an L network. It's a modified L network coupler through a homemade balun 1-to-1 that goes into a ladder line over.
Roger, I was just curious there. I always am amazed at folks that can make one antenna do two bands,
Oh yeah. This one I use on on 80 meters, 40 meters, and 30 meters, and then I have a beam for those above that. And I've got an antenna I built up 2 years ago, and I still have not put it outside and gotten it up off the tower there for 160 and 80, and that is actually going to be a vertical dipole with folded ends on it, and should work rather nicely, looking for long propagation there.
A vertical dipole. Now, how long is that vertical dipole? Is it balanced to the center, or how's the lengths go?
Yes, it is. Well, if we believe balanced antennas such as a dipole and we keep them balanced, then they do not require radials. That's a controversial thing I won't get into, but anyway, it depends a lot on your soil. This one will be about 55 feet vertical with the feed point in the center of that 55 feet, so that'd be about 27 and a half feet up, and the bottom of the antenna will be at approximately 10 feet or just slightly less than that, and the top will come off of 65 feet and will go horizontally to a rather large tree. The 160 meter element is approximately 265, 270. I haven't pruned it yet, so right now it's 270, and the 80 meter element will be approximately half of that, about 135 feet, and it will come off fed at the same point, common feed line. Will be coaxed with a choke there at the feed point to get rid of the common mode problems, and from there we'll come away horizontally to a little roof tower that I have, and then down to the shack to be fed with RG8X, and the 80 meter element will actually, the top part of it will come down to about 25 or so feet, because that's the tallest pole I've got. Now that means the pole will be about 20 feet, but the end of the antenna will still be probably closer to 40 feet, and then the bottom of that, where it bends, will be horizontal, as would be the bottom of the 160 meter antenna, if that makes any, if you can vision that over.
Roger, yes, and I hope that you'll be able to have a A/B switch so you can check between the two. Just go back and forth and see how well you've advanced over the antenna that you have.
Oh yes. yes, one click of a rotary switch right here in front of me will solve that.
Roger, yes, I always enjoy multiple options. There's nothing better than the right antenna at the right place at the right time.
That's right. Well, this antenna here is a decent antenna. We understand what a full wave looks like. It's got some lobes and nulls in it and so forth. But then again, the vertical dipole is going to have a much lower angle of radiation than the vertical antenna. Well, than a horizontal antenna. And the horizontal antennas, you'd have to, on 160 meters, get something up at least 300 feet. And even then, probably your better verticals would work better for a longer skip. Well, lower angles of radiation, let me just put it that way. Yeah, I've been at this about 62 years now, and I've built all my antennas just about over.
Roger. Now, are they mostly all dipoles?
No. My beam is an old Mosley. A lot of people don't like them. I do. I swear by the thing. It's a Pro 57A at 67 feet.
All right. Now, you're serious about it. Anybody that goes over 50 feet is serious about their antenna, Roger?
Yes, sir. Very much so.
Roger. All righty. Let me jump out of here. You're sounding good. Did you say you were in Georgia?
Yes, I am. I'm in Sylvania, Georgia, the only active ham in the community.
Now, how do you know that? I guess you haven't been getting any local QRM or anything.
I'm the only, well, my wife has a general class with code, and I have the extra, and we are the only two licensed amateurs in this county that are on the air.
I see, Roger. Now, does she buy her own gear, or do you buy gear for her?
Well, she shares my gear. She hasn't operated a lot lately, but she used to be on the airways a good amount, and we're happy with that. We've been married now 55 years.
Roger. Well, the family that stays together stays together, and what a beautiful hobby that you both are able to share, Roger.
Oh yes, well, she raises Shetland sheepdogs, so I do the poop scooping for her.
Roger. Well, what do they say? Shoot low. They're riding Shetlands.
I'm sorry. Say again.
There's an old saying. It says, "Shoot low. They're riding Shetlands."
Oh yes, Shetland ponies. Well, these look like the miniature collies in some people's opinion. Check us out. You can go to QRZ under my call, and the homepage is there, and you'll find out more you ever want to know.
Roger, Bob. I'll do that, sir. And if you, like I say, if you want to hear what your radio sounds like, go to YouTube and do that call letter search, KC9VKV. And then when you get to our QSO-VLOG page, be looking for my group Aircheck 41020. Roger?
I got it. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. Threes to you, sir. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend coming up. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network will be running and recording live from 3:30 till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 4, November Delta Hotel.
There's a Yankee Delta something.
Yankee Delta Hotel.
Yankee Delta Hotel. All right, I've got that much. Give me the whole thing one more time, slowly, phonetically. Mother Nature is kind of up and down.
Victor Echo 3, the Yankee Delta Hotel. We're in Ontario, Oscar, November.
Roger on Ontario, and what's the name there?
Yeah, the name is Dennis Delta Echo November, India.
Roger, Dennis, and I think you said you were near Ontario?
Central Ontario, about 125 miles north of Toronto, about 45 to 50 miles east of Georgian Bay.
Roger, I just moved over to my Rochester SDR, and I've got a better copy on you than my local antenna. Unfortunately, my Milford PA SDR is down. Let me see if I can bring that up. That is a problem, child, because I don't have a password, and I have to navigate this son of a gun, and it keeps wanting to kick me out. It kicks me out at 20 minutes for not doing anything because I'm just listening to it, and then it kicks me out at 30 minutes for overactivity. So it's hard to win. But come back and let me see how you sound on Milford, PA, Roger.
How you sound on Milford, PA, Roger.
Okay, Echo Hotel in Huntsville, Ontario. How copy?
Yeah, so you're still better on Rochester, so I'll just go with that. And what kind of radio are you running today, sir?
And what kind of radio are you running today, sir?
Okay, we're running a Fox Tango 1000 MP Mark V with the MD1 desk microphone, about 180 watts into an 80-meter horizontal loop.
Well, it's doing you a great job there. You're giving Rochester about 8 dB over their local noise level, Roger.
Over their local noise level, Roger.
Okay, very good on that. Yeah, I'm hearing the QSB. The band is starting to shift on us there. Probably starting to go longer. And what's the name that you're in there?
Roger Dennis, name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and the call again is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. We are located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. We are on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger?
The Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger?
Okay, well, we've got you 5.9 plus. Good signal up here, despite the QSB. You're a solid 5.9. Sometimes 10 over there, Jim. Nice to meet you this afternoon. So, how does my give me up there? If you can give me a report there, over.
Roger. Well, like I say, you're about 8 dB over the Rochester, New York SDR noise level. So, and that equates pretty close to an 8 on the S meter, Roger.
On the S meter, Roger.
Yeah, okay. Does the audio sound acceptable? Do we sound not too bad?
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. You're coming in just beautiful. I wish I had a better copy on my local antenna because I have a much better frequency response on my local receiver, so I can tell just absolutely what's happening. But as it translates through the Rochester SDR, it sounds very legible. Very intelligible, Roger.
Very intelligible, Roger.
Okay, well we won't hold you further than that, then, Jim. I was hoping to tweak it a little bit there, but I think the band is going to prevent us from doing that. So we'll say our 73s, and we'll let you see if you can pick up somebody else you can help there. We were listening along for the last two stations that you had a QSO with, so thanks for the comeback. Thank you for the contact, and we'll say 7.3s on this one. As long as we're getting out there and we don't sound overdriven or over modulated or anything like that, I guess we can accept that. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor from Victor Echo 3 Yankee Delta Hotel.
Roger Dennis, your dynamic range is exactly where it should be at 3 dB, and so then your average percent of peak modulation is going to be around 80 to 85%, so it is very fat. Now I would suggest, if you would like, to maybe just put a little more top-end EQ there, maybe one click on the treble, one click boost on the treble from where you are, Roger.
From where you are, Roger.
Okay, Jim. Well, we shall take that into account. I'll go into the menu and I'll bring that up maybe one notch there. Okay, thank you for the comeback. We will let you carry on there. I wish the band wasn't shifting on us there, but unfortunately at this time of day, 40 meters does play tricks on us. Thank you again for the contact. We will try that, and I will come back with somebody, with a couple of my friends in my normal group in the morning on 80 meters and get a response from them there. KC9
KC9VKV from VE3YDH73 there, Jim. Thanks again.
Roger, Dennis. And the other thing would be that you want to operate your radio always in the 100 to 2900 bandpass. There's no necessity for ever compromising. You should run that radio 100 to 2900, Roger.
100 to 2900, Roger.
Roger that. Thanks again, Jim.
Roger, Dennis, three's that way, sir, and have yourself a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend up there in Ontario. This is Kilo Charlie 9. Oh, and Dennis, if you want to, again, copy your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We have about 1,060 recorded QSO-VLOGs at the moment. When you get to the QSO-VLOG page, you'll be looking for one entitled My Group Aircheck 41020, today's date. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger?
Check 41020. Roger?
Roger that. We will copy that. We will definitely check out your YouTube page here. I'll go right there right now there, Jim. Thanks again. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor from Victor Echo 3, Yankee Delta Hotel 73, and we will go there.
Roger, Dennis. Now, it will take us a couple of days to get this recording uploaded to YouTube. Usually, it takes us 48 hours. We might do it sooner, but at least, we say 48 hours, and that gives us the ability to always make that date. If we say sooner and get busy, then there you go. There goes the neighborhood. So in 2 days, it should be there, Roger.
Roger.
Roger. We will check it within 2 days there, Jim. Thanks again. VE3YDH, we will be clear.
Roger, Dennis. 3 is that way, sir. Have a great afternoon. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, the QSO-VLOG network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Delta 0 Whiskey Alpha November.
Something Alpha November, sir. Come back with your call sign slowly, please.
Back with your call sign slowly, please.
This is Kilo Delta 0 Whiskey Alpha November.
Roger, Whiskey Alpha November. What's the name there?
Whiskey Alpha November. What's the name there?
My name is Bill Bravo Ida Lima. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Running off a battery with my ICOM 746, 50-foot of coax, and dipole up about 25 feet.
But, Roger, did you say Joel?
Roger, did you say Joel?
Name is Bill Bravo Ida Lima, QSO.
Unfortunately, I'm copying the mail on Milford, PA, and they're having a lightning storm. So one more time, slowly, phonetically on the name, please, sir.
Slowly, phonetically on the name, please, sir.
My name is Bill Bravo Ida Lima, Bravo Ida Lima, and Kilo Delta Whiskey Alpha.
Roger, Bill. I got it. What radio are you running today, Bill?
What radio are you running today, Bill?
50-foot. I'm running 50 feet of coax, and I have it into a fan 40, 17, and 20-meter dipole up 20 feet. QSL?
Roger, man, they must be having a heck of a lightning storm up there in the Pennsylvania area, Milford, Pennsylvania. I'm getting you very broken. I would have a good signal if it wasn't for all the lightning and, overriding your signal, Roger.
Overriding your signal, Roger.
I certainly understand. QSL? The fan dipole. QSL?
Hey, I just went to my local antenna and you're 20 over, so we shall move forward now. Sounding better. Again, repeat your radio, please.
Okay, I have an ICOM 746. I'm running barefoot with a fan dipole, 2040 and 17-meter dipole with 50 foot of coax off a battery up about 25 feet. QSL?
Oh, Roger. Now, would you like a fatter signal? You could use a little bit of assistance there.
I'm still kind of learning how to run the radio here, so I will certainly take your advice and see what I can do, but I'm kind of new with this ICOM. Over.
Roger that. Do you know how to get to your compressor?
Not exactly. Over.
All right. Do you have pad and pencil? You can take a couple of notes. Okay, the first thing is engage your compressor at a 3. Engage your compressor at a 3 when you find it, Roger.
Roger. When I can locate it, I'll do that. Yeah, just pass that on and I'll work on it. Thank you.
Roger. Then after you get your compressor in line at a 3, move to your ALC meter with the mic gain in hand and adjust your mic gain to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. You want to bring up your ALC meter and adjust it to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3 by way of the mic gain control. Roger?
Roger. Got that. Writing it all down. Thank you.
All right. Then if you get to your EQ, you want to take your top-end EQ plus 2 from where it is. Your EQ top-end plus 2 from wherever it is at the moment. Roger? Roger, and gosh, then if you could give me a shout, maybe next Friday or so, we'll see how it sounds. Should sound great.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, this is a great little radio, and I'm enjoying being outside and enjoying the fresh air and doing a little QSO. I really appreciate your help.
Roger. Now, once again, what's your location?
I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, like I say, sitting here on the driveway with coax and barefoot with a fan dipole on a beautiful spring day.
Roger, Bill. Well, usually we don't go west. We're primarily up and down the East Coast. Our mantra when we built the station was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas, and that's what it turned out to be. So I'm just so happy that we're going west this afternoon, Roger.
Roger. The propagation is always kind of unpredictable, but sometimes a lot of fun. Could I get your call sign again, please?
Yes, sir. The call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and we are located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River right at Louisville.
Oh, very good. I used to live in Dayton, Ohio. My dad used to fly B-52s out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, so I'm familiar with the area. Over.
Roger. And if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and you'll be looking for a QSO entitled My Group Aircheck 41020. Today's date. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger?
Let's say 41020 on your page on YouTube for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. QSL?
Roger, you got it, sir. Let me say 3s to you. Sounding good back this way.
Appreciate your advice, and we'll work on it. Thank you.
Roger, yeah, I suggest that while you're going through the book, you make yourself a cheat sheet about how to get to those places on your radio, and you make a list of all those functions and how to get to them, and then you really probably shouldn't have to go back to the book again, Roger.
Roger. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the advice. I bought this at a ham fest for a very good price, and it's been a nice transceiver. QSL?
Oh, sounds good. Sound better when you get all those new numbers cranked in there, Roger.
Roger. Well, thank you very much, and I most appreciate the advice, Jim. And I will look forward to listening to myself on YouTube. QSL?
Roger. 3s to you, sir, and have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the QSO-VLOG net. It is 16 before 5, and we record live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Station ending in Delta. Come back with a call sign one more time, please.
Kilo Bravo 8 Victor Golf Delta.
Kilo Bravo 8 Victor, Delta, Roger.
Very good, Victor Golf Delta. You got a name on that end there, and running a 450D Yazoo into a G5RB Just added a MD100 Yazoo microphone to it today.
Yes, sir. Well, gosh, may I say that your audio is very unprocessed. You almost have a perfect unprocessed signal of 10 dB dynamic range. And what we want to do, and if you'd be interested in fattening up a little bit, we could do that.
Okay, yeah, I would. I've just been playing with the microphone here a little bit this afternoon, trying to get it tuned in. You're my first contact with it.
Yes, sir. The name is Aaron, is that correct?
That is affirmative.
Roger, Aaron. Well, the first thing is to get that compressor cranked in at a 3. Engage your compressor at a 3. Roger?
Roger, I'll look into that here in a moment.
Are you familiar with your radio?
Somewhat. I went into the digital mic EQ there a moment ago, but I'm not sure on the compressor.
Yes, sir. All right. Let me just give you notes, and then you can do it when you find things, Roger.
Okay, will do.
All right. Starts with the compressor engaged at a 3. First thing is engage your compressor at only a 3. And you don't want to be higher than that or lower than that. You want to be exactly a 3 on the compressor when you put it in line. Roger?
Okay, will do.
All right, then you move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and you want to adjust your ALC by turning your mic gain to where the ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. You want that meter on the ALC to be running mid-scale to 2/3 by way of adjusting your mic gain control. Roger?
Okay, yeah, we'll look into that here in just a few moments. Like I say, I've had the 450 for probably 3 or 4 months, but I just added this MD100 to it today.
Roger. And I think your EQ will be okay once you fatten it up. I think it will really come together pretty well, just like it is when you go through the other procedures that I laid out for you. Roger?
Okay, will do. Thanks a lot, and we will talk to you later. KC9VKV.
Roger. And Aaron, let me get your location. What's your location again?
Yes, we're in Geneva, Ohio, in the far northeastern corner of the state of Ohio.
Okay, and phonetically on your name, please, sir.
Alpha, Alpha, Romeo, Oscar, November.
I got you, sir. Thank you very much. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page. We have about 1,060 recorded QSO-VLOGs on that page. Well, not on that page, but on the page that you come to. And you'll be looking for one QSO in particular that's called My Group Aircheck 41020. My Group Aircheck 41020, today's date. Roger?
Roger, and thanks a lot. KC9VKV.
Roger, Aaron, 3s to you, sir. Have a great weekend. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net. And again, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Charlie 8, Victor Romeo Papa.
Romeo Papa Station. Let me come back with the call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
This is Kilo Charlie 8, Victor Romeo Papa.
Victor Romeo Papa. What's the name?
My name here is Alex. I'm located in Detroit, Michigan, and I'm a brand new general and a brand new HF station.
Roger. What radio are you running, sir?
I have a Yaesu Foxtrot Tango 450 Delta running barefoot at 90 watts.
Roger, Roger. We can fatten that up if you might be interested.
Yeah, sure. I did a few tweaks, but I'm always open for suggestions.
Alrighty. Our tune-up starts with the compressor at a 3. Engage your compressor at a 3. Roger?
Okay, I don't believe this radio has that feature. It just has a mic gain low, normal, and high, a mic equalizer, and then it has some settings on the a desk mic that's included with the radio.
Roger, but you're pretty sure it doesn't have any compressor?
Yeah, I looked through the manual several times, and I don't think it has a compressor.
Roger, it might be under another name called processor.
Okay, I don't think it has a processor either. The only mic settings it has is a mic equalizer and a mic gain.
Roger that. Okay. Just as a note, if you do happen to find later on a compressor, a processor, you want to engage it, turn it on at about a 3. You don't want anything higher than that or lower, but at a 3 if you find you have one. Roger?
Okay, I'll double check the manual, and I might check YouTube as well. But it's a pretty bare bones entry level radio, so I'm still in the process of wanting to getting it to be sounding its best.
Roger, Roger. Okay, in lieu of that, let's move on to your ALC meter, and you want to adjust your mic gain to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. That involves hitting your key, turning your transmit on, speaking in a natural voice. You don't want a voice heavier because you're setting level. You just want a natural voice as you speak into your microphone at the normal distance, and then adjust the mic gain to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
It's running right now. It's about 2/3 or 3/4, more like 3/4.
K0RWD.
Station, please stand by, please. Roger, Roger there. Alex, is that right? This is KC9VKV, Roger?
Yes, Roger that. Kilo Charlie 8, Victor Romeo Papa. And what was your call sign, sir, and your name?
Call sign is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and we're located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky, and this is the QSO-VLOG network. Roger?
Okay, Roger that. Call sign is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Yeah, that's a Roger. That's a Roger. And like I say, if investigating your radio you find you do have a compressor, go ahead and put it in line at a 3, and then you'll need to go back to double check that your ALC is still running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, Roger that. Yeah, in Detroit you're coming at about a 20 over. How's this signal coming in?
I'm copying you 10 over my local noise level. Copying you 10 over my local noise level. What kind of power are you running, sir?
I'm running 90 watts, 90.
Roger, Roger. Well, I'll give you some idea. We're running about a kW, and we could drop down. This is about 100 watts here, about 100 watts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back to the kW. Roger.
Okay, when you drop down to 100, you just went from 20 over to about a F7, S8.
Roger, Roger. All right, well, I guess we've about got you ready to go there. If you, crank in all those things, I would suggest maybe that you come back. We run this QSO-VLOG net on Friday afternoons on this frequency, 7188, between 3:30 and 5 every Friday. So if you get a chance, check back in, Roger. So, Alex, we'll say 3s to you, sir. You have a good afternoon, a great weekend, and give us a couple of days to get this uploaded to YouTube. But anyway, you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And once you're on our QSO-VLOG page, you'll be looking for an Aircheck recording called My Group Aircheck 41020. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger?
I'll definitely check into YouTube.
Roger, Roger. Conditions kind of fell off. I'm copying on the Rochester SDR. Sounds good. So 3's to you, sir. Have a great weekend. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net. Got about 5 minutes to go. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Oh, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Fox Whiskey.
Station ending in whiskey.
Station ending in whiskey. 2 Fox Whiskey.
Again, slowly, phonetically, sir.
Again, slowly, phonetically, sir. Fox Whiskey.
I'm not copying the first words you're saying, sir. Be more deliberate on your call sign in the beginning. I'm not copying. The only thing I'm copying is Fox Whiskey, Roger.
The thing I'm copying is Fox Whiskey, Roger. Fox Whiskey.
I don't know what you're saying, sir. You're all screwed up in the first of your call sign. If you would slowly give me your call sign from the beginning, we'll try it again.
From the beginning, we'll try it again. L2 Fox Whiskey.
Sorry, sir. Can I copy you? Maybe later on we'll figure it out. But if your first couple of letters are just jumbled.
Your first couple of letters are just jumbled.
This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. We had about 4 minutes till 5. I turned into a pumpkin at 5, so if there's somebody that wants to check out their radio, give me a shout.
Somebody that wants to check out their radio, give me a shout.
Kilo 4, Uniform Victor X-ray.
Kilo 4, Uniform Victor X-ray, Roger.
Kilo 4, Uniform Victor X-ray, Roger.
Roger, this is Kilo 4, Uniform Victor X-ray. How do you copy, sir?
I copy you fine, sir. This is KC9VKV. How you copy me?
Sir, this is KC9VKV. How you copy me?
You are 5-9 into Western North Carolina, Jim.
Roger, Roger. What's the name there, sir?
Roger, Roger. What's the name there, sir?
Name here is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo.
Roger, Dave, and what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Dave, and what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running a Yaesu FT891, going up into an off-center fed dipole at about 35 feet, set up as an inverted V.
Roger, Roger. Well, you're doing about 10 over on the Rochester SDR. Tell me the best thing you like about your radio.
Best thing you like about your radio?
Well, I'm a technician license in February of last year and my general in September, and I started with this because I intend on operating portable, over.
Roger, I am copying you now on my local antenna. You're about 10 over on my local antenna, which equates to, on the altimeter reading, as a 10 over, Roger.
November 3, Bravo.
Roger that, sir. I appreciate that.
That November 3 station, stand by, sir. I'm in QSO with Dave down in North Carolina. So what do you like best about your radio, Dave?
Well, I'll tell you, the simplicity of operation, Jim. It's, even though it is a menu-driven radio, the bulk of the things that you need to do, you can put on the 3 buttons on the front panel, and makes it very, very simple to operate, over.
Roger. So you have certain menu items that you can put into a place in menu?
Roger that. And you also have the benefit, the radio does have a scope. It's fairly rudimentary, but it does function well, over.
Roger, Dave. Well, you got a beautiful signal. Your audio is nice and crisp, very intelligible, Roger.
Oh, roger that. I appreciate it. You as well. On the last go-around on your side, you were 5-9 plus 10, over.
Roger. Well, we do favor North Carolina. When we built our station, we were saying 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas, and that is the way it turned out, Roger.
Oh, roger that, sir. Excellent signal coming out of there.
Roger. Well, I've got you recorded, sir, so if you want to go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that should take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We're running about 1,060 QSO-VLOGs, recorded QSO-VLOGs at the moment. You'll be looking for one in particular on the first page you come to, and it will be called My Group Aircheck 41020. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger.
Roger, copy that. Is My Air correct? 41020.
My group Aircheck 41020.
Oh, copy that, sir. My Group Aircheck 41020. QSL?
Exactly, and it'll take us a couple of days to get it up there, so, you check in 48 hours from now, and it should be there, Roger.
Oh, roger that, sir. I appreciate that. That'll be interesting to hear what I sound like. Over.
Roger, roger. So we'll say 3s for now, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend, Roger.
Excellent, roger that. KC9VKV, this is K4UVX. 7-3 to you, sir.
Roger, 3s to you also, sir. And there was another station trying in there?
November 3, Bravo, Golf, India.
November 3, come back with the rest of the call sign.
November 3, Baker, Germany, India.
Baker, Germany, India. Roger, what's the name?
It is Carl, Charlie Alpha RADIOLAND. I'm located about 50 miles south. 599 Eagle here, about 100 watt outro vertical, a gap tight deck vertical, up about 20 feet. How copy?
I'm copying you about 8 dB over my local noise level, Carl. About 8 dB over my local noise level. Could you repeat your radio again?
599 Eagle. 10 Eagle.
You faded out. Try one more.
A 10 Eagle.
You're saying a 1010 Eagle. Is that a Roger?
10 Tango Echo Charlie.
Oh, 10 Tech?
QSL.
And what's the number on the 10 Tech?
It's a 599 Eagle, 10 Tech Eagle.
Roger, roger, sir. All right. Well, we've got you down there. So if you want to hear yourself, if you go to YouTube in the next couple of days and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring you to our QSO-VLOG page, and you'll be looking for an air check entitled My Group Aircheck 41020. My Group Aircheck 41020. Roger, Carl?
Roger. I have a question. On the configuration menu, wait a minute.
Repeat again, please.
Okay. On the configuration menu on this radio, it has AM, but it says ERD is that particular position choice there of the for AM, but I can't. It says on the menu, but in the manual it shows configuration menu, and it doesn't call it that. It uses another symbol, and I can't bring up the speech processing function on the AM mode. It just won't come up, and I can't figure out why. And I asked Tech, they said, we'll try another configuration menu to put in the radio, but I can't figure out why it won't. It will come up on both side bands, and but I can't get the speech processing function to come up on AM. It just won't appear on the readout, on the on the display. So I can't figure it out. And works okay on AM, but I can't get speech processing to work on AM because it won't show up on the radio. N3BGI.
Roger, Carl, I'm not really familiar with that radio. I would suggest maybe that you consult Google the problem. Google is immensely familiar with the multitudinous amounts of things, and you may strike a thread from somebody else that had the same question. You know, just remember that you're probably not alone as you run across things that you don't understand. There probably have been other people that have not understood the same thing that have gone before you and have consulted Google for the answer. So that's what I would do. I would Google the question. Roger?
Roger, thank you. And you're 5'9" here into Dunbar, PA, about 50 miles southeast of Pittsburgh. Are you in Kentucky or are you across the river in Indiana?
Roger, Carl. I am in Indiana. I'm just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. I am in Indiana, just across the river from Louisville. Roger, Roger.
Roger. And is that Evansville? Is that town across the river?
It may be, but it's downriver, a few hundred miles from where I am, Roger.
Oh, Evansville is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I always think of Louisville, Kentucky. I think of that infamous sanitarium they had there on Waverly Hill. They made a movie out of that years ago, and it was interesting, but that's what I always think of. I think of Louisville, Kentucky. N3BGI, well, thank you for your advice there, and I'll get on Google on the computer and see if I can find out something. You're 5'9" here, you're 10 over S9, very beautiful coffee, 73 there, I missed your name, and I didn't get your call written down. So N3BGI, I'll sign with you, 73, thanks for answering my question. Have a happy Easter. N3BGI clear QRT from Dunbar, PA.
Roger, Carl, I'm just looking for your call sign. Can you give me your call sign one more time, slowly, phonetically, please?
November 3, Baker, Golf, Italy.
Roger, Roger. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that, sir. And gosh, I wish you would know Louisville by the Kentucky Derby instead of that movie, whatever it was.
Well, Kentucky Derby's famous too, yeah. That's where they have it, I guess. Okay, you have a nice day there. What is your name?
Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Jim, and the call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor.
Yes, Jim, and before I go QRT, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, November 3, Baker Golf, India. What are you using at the station there, Jim? KC9VKV, N3BGI. I'll be QRT on your final.
Roger, Roger. Well, we're using an oldie but a goodie Yaesu FT990. It's about 35-year-old radio, but it has been modded fairly well in the transmit and receive mode. It goes to an SB220 and then up to a dipole antenna. Roger. And that will conclude the afternoon QSO-VLOG. I do have one segment that I haven't gotten to that I really need to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. This is called Adventures in Radioland. This segment, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Arrange your station as complete as you can make it, and then leave it alone for at least 2 years. I know that sounds very narrow-minded, but I'm here to tell you there are 1,000 can of worms just lurking around your Radio Shack, so as long as everything is working fine, leave it alone. Just sit back and enjoy the hobby. Now, I know with shelter in place, it is tempting to get out and work on that antenna, but think about it. You don't need any accidents and having to go to the hospital at this point. So you can be thinking about what you would like to do in the future. You can even keep notes, but try to keep everything in perspective. I mean, the main thing is to simply enjoy the hobby. If you run power, one of the gremlins just ready to attack at any moment is RF in the AF. Try as you might to keep all of your power amp RF output going to the antenna. You'll always have some residual RF floating around your control room. And now hopefully it's a very, very small amount, but it doesn't take much in the right area to raise havoc. So keep this lurking RF problem in the back of your mind the next time you have a brilliant idea about rearranging some things. Now, I do have a test for RF in the AF that I will share with you. This is one of those tests that you can easily use to see exactly how good or bad your situation is. My test for RF in the AF is this. First, make note of where your mic gain control is normally. Then, as a test, increase your mic gain 3 to 4 numbers hotter than normal. Key your radio with the power amp on and see if you have an audio oscillation. If you do, it is probably RF in the AF. If you don't, try the next part of the test. With your mic gain still advanced, key your radio and grab the mic all around, particularly around the area where the mic cable comes into the mic, and also feel around the front of the mic where the mic element is housed. If everything is copacetic and there are still no buzzes or oscillations, it would appear you are well ahead of the RF and the AF problem. Return your mic gain level to the normal position and pat yourself on the back. Now, as the months go by, you might repeat this little test just to be sure you're still in good shape. There's one other related aspect to this that you might consider if you do find RF in the AF. I have found it does not make a lot of sense to tie your power amp and antenna tuner ground to the same ground as your external mic preamp, or in some cases even to your radio. What I'm saying is, if you do have RF problems, you might consider operating 2 separate ground systems, keeping your power stuff on its own ground. And just one other idea, get some white duct tape and a magic marker and label the ends of all your coax cables. This will help you from getting confused and maybe making a major costly mistake. I usually put magic clear tape over the duct tape to preserve the writing. Just some food for thought. So go forth and enjoy your Radio Shack and take notes for some possible changes 2 years down the road. This is KC9VKV. And with that, we will conclude our QSO-VLOG net for the afternoon. We've enjoyed it very much. Hope you have. If so, join us next Friday at 3:30, and we will record live till 5. And also, if you have want to check out your station and you did participate, if you do go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and you'll be looking for an air check entitled My Group Aircheck 4/10/20. Today's date. My Group Aircheck 4/10/20. Alrighty, and as per normal, we never can find the actual close for the QSO-VLOG net, so I'll just say we've enjoyed it, and we will be returning this frequency back to a normal amateur radio operation. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, clear.